Well, since hardly anyone else is posting any political videos, I will do one tonight, or maybe two. So this concerns a website called DailyKos, and I'm sure some of you are familiar with that site. You know, it started out as a very progressive site trying to get progressive Democrats elected into office, and it's been in operation for I don't know how many years, probably 6 or 7 years or so. And its founder, Marcos Militias, I think his name is, he has made some inroads, and he has basically what has happened is that, in my opinion, he has become a bit too chummy with the people in Washington since he was instrumental in getting some of them elected. Especially Democrats. And, you know, I consider myself a progressive, and he has moved slowly but surely more right to center. So over the weekend, this controversy ensued over on this website that he had banned one of his most intelligent posters or bloggers on that site named Tocqueville, and this is the article for which he was banned. It's called the Conspiracy Theorist Label. The Conspiracy Theorist Label is the cleverest tool the conspirators have come up with to deter people from investigating and questioning their own government. The truth is, the greatest threat to our national security is not an external force, but the secrecy of our own government. Secrecy misjustified by the claim that it is in the interest of national security. How convenient for the profiteers of the national security state. The threat obtains in two fundamental ways: direct subversion of our Constitution and the will of the people, and blowback. Subversion is on clear display not just with Bush and company, but the entire Congress's passage of the Patriot Act, or their failure to retaliate against the tapping of our phones by the Bush administration, NSA, and AT&T. Blowback is also on clear display throughout the world, not just with terrorism, but with severe geopolitical realignments as a result of the neocon Pak America agenda. The American people have been brainwashed into thinking that secrecy is required to keep us safe. Nothing could be further from the truth. And I'll post a link to this entire article. I suggest you read it. The release of the few of the CIA's family jewels is testimony to a mere glimpse of secret government in action. And so concerned Americans attempt to investigate. With scant information, they attempt to connect the dots. They dig out documents with FOI requests and data mine MSN reports, mainstream media reports, and catalog whistleblower accounts to try to get a more accurate image to emerge. And for this, they get mocked and ridiculed, venomously attacked, lied about, and even their rights violated. Some indeed go to prison. Now, he goes on to say, but the use of these people to discredit serious, objective citizens and researchers is nothing but a propaganda technique. And the cowards on the left who cry tinfoil and mock legitimate research are essentially accomplices. They, through their weakness of mind, are enemies of the people's right to question their government. They would have you believe that powerful people never conspire, and that trying to piece together the speckled evidence of these conspiracies is only in the realm of nuttery. And he goes on to point out some of this nuttery, you know. I mean, there are legitimate criticism of completely crazy theories out there, like, you know, reptilians taking over the earth and so on. And in the beginning, when Mr. Militias basically banned those sorts of commentaries from his own vlog over at DailyKos in the very beginning, he was concerned with bandwidth, which costs money, and so he doesn't want, you know, some crazy theories and endless discussions showing up regarding the subject, and that's perfectly understandable. But really, by banning this particular blogger from his site, he is essentially hurting his own credibility. And the reason, and that may not be evident to Marcus Militias, is that he is moving very much to the center because he is afraid to offend people in Washington, with whom he has become quite chummy, you might say. He acts as a pollster, as an opinion maker, and so on, and so he's, you know, doing the middle of the road thing now. And some people, people who have been posters on his site are objecting to this, and probably rightfully so. And I'll do a little follow up on this, because, you know, as it goes to show, power corrupts, and once you move a little higher up, it's very difficult to stand by your initial principles, because on the one hand you need to make compromises, on the other you have long-term strategies perhaps in mind, and I really don't believe that Marcos was ever a true progressive, but you know, I'll let others comment on that. The greatest failure, and this article here, this banned article continues, but the greatest failure of the Democrats and the progressive left in the last 8 years has been to allow the delusional ravings of a few to inoculate the Bush junta on 9/11, just because some think that space beams destroyed the Twin Towers. There is no reason to believe the depiction of the 9/11 presentation as presented by the 9/11 Commission. And on it goes. The man is making a very reasonable argument here, and all I can say, you know, I hope he gets reinstated. And I'll follow up with this. I'll follow up on this with another article that just got published on that site, and that also bears mentioning. But that's 5 pages long, so there's no way I can read all this. So I'll have to sort of go through this first and read you the pertinent parts after I do some editing and not editing video-wise, but selecting the most pertinent passages. So you know, thanks for listening, and this I would like for my progressive friends on here to keep this very much in mind, not just regarding conspiracy theories, but also essentially there are bigger issues at play here, namely, you know, playing footsie with power in Washington. And since we're just all regular bloggers and vloggers on here, you need to pay attention to this. You know, whether you're, you know, whether you're a Democrat anymore or not, you need to pay very close attention to this. So I'll follow up with one more video hopefully tonight. Thanks.